Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Educational AD Podcast. We're going to be right back with today's guest, but as always, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors. So please stay with us. It's only going to take about 3 minutes. These are all companies that I used as an AD. They're all great companies. You should be using them too. Here we go. We want to say thanks to our good friends at Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made. Go to sidelineinteractive.com to get started. We also want to thank our friends at Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but as an AD, I made sure we were a Huddle school. Go to huddle.com. Your coaches, your student athletes, your parents are really going to thank you. That's huddle.com. Let's also say thanks to Snap Mobile, particularly Snap Raise. If you've ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and been disappointed in the results, I'm telling you, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. We used it at our school and had tremendous success, and so will you. Check out their other great options, other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it, and it's Snap Raise. We'd like to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to show off your school record boards for all the teams, for all the different events, or show off your school's Hall of Fame, go to Vital Signs Wall of Fame and look at their interactive touchscreen video consoles. You put one of these units in your gym lobby, your main school hallway, it's going to be like a magnet. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. You're going to be glad you did. We want to thank our good friends at Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and let their team turn you into a social media marketing genius. Whether it's a social media post to celebrate a win or an entire newsletter, you're going to create and control the content for your school's social media all in one place. The technology is so easy, even I can do it. Go to Gipper.com for more information. We want to say thank you to Home Campus. Home Campus is a platform you're going to use every day. Scheduling, rosters, results, their eligibility and clearance platform alone is a game changer. That's homecampus.com. And don't forget to mention you heard about it on the podcast. Let's say thanks to Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. My assistant AD, along with thousands of others, got his master's through the Ohio program. And while they were doing it, they also completed 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. That's Ohio University's online masters in athletic administration. We want to say thank you to our good friends at Hometown. Hometown continues to change the game with their solutions that include things like, digital ticketing, athletic website construction, fee-free fundraising. The list just goes on. Whether you're an AD, a head coach, even a principal, Hometown is going to show you how to save time, raise more money, and bring your community together. You'll find it all at hometown.com. And we'd like to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. In my school, we use surveys for everything. Student athletes, coaches, we used it for parents too. And the information that came back was incredibly valuable, both positive and from those squeaky wheel parents. The survey still allowed us to hear their concerns, keep them from turning into something big, but having that positive feedback, that positive data, it's a game changer. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. That's athleticsurveys.com. And as always, don't forget to mention you heard about it on the podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Educational AD Podcast. We're going up to Rhode Island today, and we're going to be visiting with Justin Erickson. Justin is a certified master athletic administrator, and he's the district director for the Johnston School District program. That includes high school and middle school athletics. Justin, welcome to the Educational AD.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for having me.
Oh, very excited. Appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day to share with our listeners. Let's go and jump right in. We always like to give our guests a chance to, tell our listeners a little bit about themselves. So, what's your origin story? Where were you born? Where'd you grow up? Maybe take us up through your own college career, and then we'll take a break. We're going to hear about your AD career later. But what's the origin story for Justin Erickson?
So I was born in Putnam, Texas. My birth certificate actually says West Texas on it is where I was born. That just shows you where I was in the middle of Texas where I was born. Um, Mom moved up here to Rhode Island and then raised with my grandparents and my mom, my sisters, my whole life in Rhode Island. Went to Cranston West, the town over from Johnston. Played multiple sports there. Was a four-sport athlete. Then I went to West New England, played football. And then I started right after 2 years after college. I played. I kind of went to business for myself with some friends, doing some restaurant work, and then we end up. I was coaching and volunteer coaching, and then led to an athletic director career.
Uh, Well, I want to go all the way back to when you were in school. You mentioned high school for sports. I want to go back before then. Growing up in the neighborhood. I mean, coming from Texas to Rhode Island. I mean, that's an episode in itself. But what was it like as a kid? Was it backyard football? Driveway basketball? I'm guessing the winter street hockey. What are some of your memories of when you were a kid?
So a lot of driveway basketball, driveway street hockey was definitely one of our biggest things that we played with rollerblades and no rollerblades. And then we would play a lot of football all year round, anywhere we could play. A lot of times diving on the cement, which was not a good idea, but we played till the past the street lights. I guess that used to be our curfew, street lights on, and then we play that. And then as we got older, we would extend it.
Now I am a lot older than you, and that's what I remember. You're especially during the summer, in the morning you'd grab breakfast and then you're out, you're on your bikes, you're playing with your friends, and your parents might not see you until maybe dinner time, and they didn't care because they knew, you were out playing with your buddies. That's to hear someone of, your generation, describe that experience. That's refreshing and just a little bit surprising.
Yeah, I guess Rhode Island's a little old school. We're behind, like a little behind the times, but we're getting the glory days in. We're like kids still go out. My son's 5 now. He's out with his friends when he gets home from the bus, and then he does his homework right after he gets home. So we're gonna play and try and teach him the right ways that we were raised. So just
Uh,
going fishing or playing with some activities in the street. At least they're outside doing something.
Now, I mean, Rhode Island, I'm guessing it was probably a small town experience. Were you guys in the suburbs? What was that like for you from a sports standpoint? Organized teams, parent driven, how did that all work?
A lot of organized teams. We were lucky. The town I have has a organization called CLCF. That's called Cranston Youth, like for Cranston Youth League for Cranston's future. And they do like and they have an umbrella of every sports team under them, and they compete with the just the local towns and their communities around the area, and then amongst themselves as well. So there'll be like a travel team, and then there'll be inner teams in the city that would compete, and then also we had Cranston Western baseball. We had like multiple baseball leagues back then. We had 4, and now we're down to 2, I believe, as times changed. So we went from Cranston Western, Cranston National, Cranston American to this Cranston Eastern and Cranston Western nowadays. So, but it was a lot of things like, hey, you're gonna play baseball. I was lucky on my street. I had the football coach's family, the wrestling coach's family, and then the baseball coach lived across the street from my grandparents. So no matter what I was going, you're playing these sports.
That's right. It wasn't going to be an accident. You were already, it was ordained. You were going to be getting involved in sports. Let's go and jump into high school. As athletic directors, I think most of us preach the value of the multi-sport experience. When you were growing up, and again, you're from a different generation, did any of your high school coaches say, hey, Justin, you shouldn't be whatever playing basketball. You should be focusing on this. Was that a thing for you, or was it truly the multi-sports being pushed?
I think growing up in the early 2000s, it was the multi-sport thing. We didn't have those, like travel wasn't as big as it is now, where it's, hey, focus on soccer, focus on basketball. You're going to be a great player. Well, guys, everyone in town is 5'10". I don't think anyone's getting that NBA scholarship. So they were pushing it because they knew if you did well, it's like you did well in the field, you're gonna do well in the classroom because you focus on your education and making sure your grades are good.
Yeah, again, it's a captain obvious for me. And again, I'm retired. I did 41 years as a teacher, a coach, as an AD, and I had some great athletes. I was a football and track coach. I had some great athletes, boys and girls in track, and obviously boys in football. But the number of kids that went D1, I can count them on the fingers of one hand. But the vast majority, they had great high school experiences in part because they were doing multiple sports, and they all had a favorite sport, but they were better in that sport because they did other sports. Okay, I'm getting off my soapbox. Uh, Moving on to your college experience. Were you thinking, hey, I'm gonna play college sports. I want to. How did that all play out for you?
So I got lucky because there was 7 kids in my class that went to go play college sports. Um, some went to Florida State for track. Some went to um, University of Arkansas for shot put. We were going off all over. Well, like for football players, it was me and one of my teammates went to small D3 school in Mass and played some football. And I thought, hey, football is everything, not realizing how big of a job it is at that level, the college level, where you know you eat, sleep, and breathe it, but you also got to get class in on top of it and figure out the whole life of college and how to make easy mac by yourself and ramen.
Now, as you were going through, that life as a college football player, I did small college football and track out on the West Coast. Um, were you thinking, hey, I might try a free agent camp or I might try arena ball, or were you already looking at a teaching and coaching career?
Um, so I enjoyed playing sports. I didn't look at like the next step. It was just enjoy being involved in like keeping active and having that teamwork and camaraderie with my friends more than looking to go to. Hey, I'm gonna go to scout camp. When there was kids that I played with go to the scout camps and we'd get them ready for. Like this is a lot of work, guys. Like wasn't feeling that, and then I got hurt my sophomore year, so my mom kind of pulled me back home because of a leg injury, and I had to go back to the local community college, and I was like, wow, I miss football, and then I started coaching.
Oh, so you were already coaching before you finished your degree program.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I think a lot of us, and I certainly was doing that as an undergrad too. I was still playing, but had the opportunity to work as a coach at the local high school. Um, was that it just kind of you fell into that, or was it just, oh wow, this is pretty cool? I think I like this coaching gig.
So sitting with a former high school teammate of mine at a restaurant, who was probably 22 years old, goes, hey, we need a freshman coach, and we need one bad. You in any interest? I'm like, yeah, I'll come coach. I got the time. It was just kind of going through school and bartending and working for myself and doing like college jobs that we always do. And so I started coaching. And the next thing I know, 10 years later, I'm still coaching.
Well, let's go and take our first break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask you to continue to share your coaching journey. Once again, for our listeners, our guest today is Justin Erickson. He's a certified master athletic administrator. He's the director of athletics for the Johnston School District that's up in Rhode Island. Let's take that break, but we're coming back with more. This is the Educational AD Podcast. We want to say thanks to our good friends at Sideline Interactive indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made as an athletic director was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Schedule that live web demo today. We also want to say thanks to our good friends at Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school. And our coaches, all of our coaches, they just loved the tools that Huddle provided. Our student athletes loved the videos, and our parents loved the streaming, but there's a lot more. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users, and find out how to turn your school into a huddle school. That's huddle.com.
Yeah, Jake, we use Huddle on for our football team, basketball teams. Our soccer teams used it last year. Due to some budget constraints, we couldn't become a Huddle school like we wanted to this year. But our teams did fundraise and they're using Huddle again, and we are fully trying to look into becoming a full Huddle school again. As a snap.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Educational AD Podcast. Once again, our guest is Justin Erickson. He's the Director of Athletics for the Johnston School District up in Rhode Island. Justin, you were kind of sharing how you got your first coaching gig while you were still an undergraduate student. Share with our listeners a little bit the rest of your journey that has now brought you to Johnston as the athletic director.
So I started coaching in the early 2000s, 2009, I want to say. Was just finishing up, didn't kind of just finished my associate's degree and was on the fence if I wanted to keep going to school or work for myself. And we started taking a chance and we opened up a couple of restaurants, me and a couple of my best friends. And those are now thriving restaurants in the community that we live in. And, we've opened numerous restaurants throughout the 12 years that we've done it. So going from there, the coaching aspect, I was always coaching, going from a restaurant to right to coaching or going to a game to right back to the restaurant and getting ready for a busy night at both where the community would come to a football game, they would see me at the football game, and then they would see me at the restaurant in the same coaching outfit. So it's a good partnership and want to work together. Well, 5 years into my coaching career, I got asked to be the head coach of the Rhode Island High School All-Star game that happened to be at Johnston High School on their new turf field. So it was like my first head coaching experience. And then I did varsity coaching for the last up to 2019. But I was offered a head coaching lacrosse job too at Cranston West, which I did for 8 years. So I was doing lacrosse and football. Finally, at a football game, one of the school committee members goes, "Hey, we have a part-time middle school athletic director we're looking for. You'd be perfect for it." I applied for it, and then getting ready to go to Disney, and they gave me the phone call saying, "Hey, congratulations, you're the athletic director of the middle school." It's 4 middle schools at the time in Cranston. And I was like, okay. And worked with the high school athletic director. We had 2 high schools and was an assistant for part-time. Then they made it a full-time, part-time job, which we know there's no such thing as a part-time athletic director. And I was over there since 2022, where my mentor, who was the high school athletic director, goes, "Not retiring anytime soon, but I can't teach you anymore. So why don't you go off on your own?" And I interviewed for a couple districts around Cranston and landed here myself in Johnston. And in the 2 years I got here, I won athletic director of the year for the town of Johnston, which is in the whole state. So I'm very proud of that. And we're really pushing girls flag football to become the 18th state sanction. So.
Well, again, great story and great example of how performance at a particular job helps open the door for that next potential job. You weren't looking for it, but it certainly came your way. They reached out to you. One of my favorite questions is, going from, and it even describes coaching.
Excuse the interruption. Just a reminder.
Hey, that's okay. It wouldn't be a podcast without those announcements. There's an expression, you don't know what you don't know. As you made that jump from head coach to now athletic director, what were some things that you found out that you didn't know about being an athletic director?
Well, could you start with the medical trainer not showing up, or the other team's bus transportation not being on time, and the officials being late or going on the wrong field, like all this stuff that you see behind the scenes that we deal with that no one really gets to see. The biggest issue with some teams in Rhode Island is they take their travel team over their high school team. So, and I'm like, guys, it's great that you're on a travel team, but your high school team takes precedence over it. Well, I paid to be on the travel team. Yeah, you're not paying for this team. So A lot of stuff we learned since that coach's career.
Oh no, absolutely. I don't want to jump ahead of myself. We're going to talk, or going to let you talk about all things, you know, school district in our next segment. But you talked about your mentor. You know, you mentioned your mentor. How important was that? I'm going to say process as you were starting out in your career, and you're still at the beginning of your career. You got a long way to go, but building your network and having those mentors that you could reach out. How important was that to you?
Very important. So the first thing I did, when the first athletic director I worked under went back to being an admin. So they asked me to sit on the committee and hire his replacement, who ended up being my mentor for 6 years, Mike Trafficanti, who's pretty much a Hall of Fame athletic director in Rhode Island, national recognized and everything. Um, he's been great. He's been an athletic director for 25 years, knows everything under the sun and more. Probably forgot more about athletics than I can remember. And just a great person. I think I talk to him now more now that I'm not working with him than when I was working across from him. So the first thing I would do, he would take me to the league meetings, and I would go out to breakfast with them and be like the wise men and women, and be all the older generation, and me just tagging along like the little bulldog in the cartoon, or like Tom and Jerry, like, hey Spike, what are you doing? But learning from them, like just learning the lessons and learning the stories that they would tell from their experiences, were all great.
Oh no, absolutely. It's taking me back to my own journey as an athletic director. Um, let's go and talk about this segment or about this topic because you brought it up. You know, the idea of school-based sports working hand in hand, hopefully, with club and travel teams. 100 years ago, when I was in high school, I went to high school in the first part of the '70s, went to college in the second part of the '70s. That's how old I am. But the only club stuff was like summer baseball. You know, there wasn't even, I think my senior year in high school, maybe after I graduated, was the first summer league basketball that our school started to use. And some of the alums like me would come back in and play. But what are some things that you do to I guess travel that tightrope of, hey, our program is important. Our programs at the school are, hey, that's number one. That's what we do. But we want to try to work with the clubs. How do you navigate that?
The first thing I do is I tell our student athletes, guys, you're a student athlete first. Your school comes before your sports. As in anything in educational athletics, you need to do well in the classroom for anything. So I'm like, you guys can join all these clubs, but if your grades aren't good, you're wasting your time and money on being going traveling all over the country. I go, yes, they'll put you in front of the people they say, but they're going to look at your grades first. So why don't we talk to the club coaches and bring them in and be like, what can we do to make you guys work hand in hand with us? And we've had success with it with basketball and baseball, where some of the baseball coaches end up coaching at the high school, and then it trickles down to their travel team, and then same thing with basketball, where their kids are focused on their athletic education first, then getting their athletics.
Yeah, I think that's really the best thing that you can do is, what we do is it's similar, but it's different from the club experience. And that's a talking point with parents as well. Great advice. Good job.
You
Let's go
can't
in.
fight
Oh, go
because
ahead.
they're always you can't fight the club organizations because they're going to play them,
Mhm.
and they're going to do it no matter what. So if you can work with them, it seems to be like the enemy of my enemy is my best friend or something like that. Is that the
Right,
quote?
right.
Like you work with them and it makes your life a lot easier.
Yeah, it's not right, wrong, good or bad. It's just different. It's a
Yep.
different experience. We are school-based athletics. Very cool stuff. Let's go and take another quick break, but we're coming back with more. So please stay with us. This is the Educational AD Podcast. We want to say thank you to Vital Signs Wall of Fame for their support of the podcast. If you're looking for a really cool way to show off your school record boards for all the teams, for all the different events, or show off your school's Hall of Fame, Go to Vital Signs Wall of Fame and take a look at their interactive touch screen. That's right, touch screen video consoles. You put one of these units in your gym lobby or your main school hallway, it's going to be like a magnet for kids, for coaches. How about sponsors? Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. Check out their great products today. We'd also like to say thank you to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and let their team turn you into a social media marketing guru. Maybe it's a simple social media post to celebrate a victory, or it could be an entire newsletter to showcase all the great things your department's doing in the community. Either way, the team at Gipper is going to have you up and running in no time. It's professional graphic design made easy. Go to Gipper.com for more information. We also want to thank our good friends at Snap Mobile, particularly Snap Raise. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and then been disappointed in the results? Well, I'm telling you, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. We used it at our school with tremendous success, and so will you. Go to Snap Raise, check out all of their other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it, and it's Snap Raise. That's snapraise.com.
So yeah, my football team helped with raise money for our huddle account with Snap Mobile. Great program. It was a great thing. It was quick and easy to use. We did a quick fundraiser so they could get huddle, and then I used some Gipper social media posts I used to get it out there that we were using Snap Mobile and huddle together. So it all worked out. One hand to together, watched another.
Well, no, thanks again for acknowledging that. And that's a creative use of using the Snap platform. Again, I was just very, very pleased when we used it at our school, and they're still using it today, even though I'm retired. And real quick on Gipper, what's one of your favorite features of the Gipper platform?
I would say all the different templates they have. They have so many you can use for any sport, for any holiday, anything that you need to get out there. Plus the newsletter is not a bad feature to have. I think I'm the president-elect for our association, and I'm probably going to use it to get newsletters out there more and more for our other ADs in different cities to get involved more at the national conference and with these major companies.
No, and that's such a great point. I mean, the Gipper templates for social media posts and then their separate newsletter template, you're absolutely right. They are, I like to call them game changers. Thanks for sharing that. Let's
No
go
problem.
and talk about your district. Share with our listeners a little bit about the enrollment, your schools, the programs that you offer. I like your theme. You've already mentioned it twice about you're trying to develop and promote girls flag football. Let's also talk about that towards the end. But share, what's your school district like?
So my school district in the past, when I was growing up, was mostly the hardworking Italian neighborhood. I don't know if you ever saw Jersey Shore. DJ Paulie D went to the high school here, so they had that rep of the Italians, Guidos, Guidettes, whereas AIOU, 1 2 tree, sometimes like that. Not three, but tree. But now our neighborhoods are more diversified in Johnston, where you have a mixture of every race and gender and population that now. So we're seeing our high school numbers are 853 right now, and our middle school is just as big. But we're seeing enrollment in athletics up across the board this year for all teams, where every team had a JV team, every team had a freshman team. We're very competitive in all our sports right now. For the first time in school history, all four of our major fall teams competed in the playoffs and everything. So we're very excited about that.
Now, I'm guessing, traditional sports, but you've got football. I mean, is there hockey through the state association? How does that
So we do
work out
have
for
a
you?
hockey team. We're co-op with another town because our numbers did. We went from winning championships, being a legendary hockey town, to unfortunately we have a prep school that kind of recruits a lot of the hockey players. They won 27 state championships. So if you're a good hockey player, you want to go to Mount St. Charles, legendary program over here in Rhode Island, where they've actually beaten the Yale and Harvard freshman team as high school kids. So Just shows you how good of a program they have. Hockey, we're starting to try lacrosse again. There's some interest in it, but if there's a program that our kids want, we're gonna get it going. A big thing that our district is, when I came on, we became the first district in the state to be a unified banner school, high school, middle school, and elementary school level. So we choose to include all our unified students in every level. And we have 8 elementary schools, so that was a pretty big. We had 10 schools all get banners for Special Olympics.
And again, that's another great aspect to a school. You know, the unified programs are blowing up across the country. Let's go and talk about flag football. Now in Florida, it's been going on for a number of years, and in other states, it's really, really big. It's a great activity. What's the current status of girls flag football in Rhode Island? And I think you mentioned you're trying to change that status, right?
So, when I first got hired, one of my assistant football coaches goes, "Hey, I really want to do a girls flag. How can we do this?" So I brought it to our e-board association, and we started talking about girls flag in sports. I thought it was going to be a home run, saying, "Yep, support our female athletes, give them another opportunity to play. Let's go. Let's make this happen." And then I got voted down right away. I was like, "Oh, okay." So there's a learning curve right here. I got to learn. So what we did was we did a day tournament. We had 6 high schools compete, and we did it for charity. We did it for Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation here in Rhode Island. We did a full day tournament, and it was a great thing. The New England Patriots came down, so support it too as well, and all the proceeds went to charity, which was awesome. Comes year 2 now, we're running a trial league. We did it on a Saturday. We did it every Saturday, so we're interfering with the major court sports, the softball, lacrosse, any track, anything going on in the female sports world. We did 9 to 12. We played multiple games on the field, and we were able to get in a whole season. We did 12 games and playoffs and championships. So now we're at the point where the executive board voted yes to bring it up to our principal's committee on athletics, which meets next week to sanction it. I have a meeting after this Zoom where I'm going to talk about rules and regulations with a sports committee for girls flag. We also have a pretty heavy sponsorship between the NFL and the Patriots,
right?
Where they've given every school, including the boys only school, a flag kit, in case they are merging with the female only school. So we even got them covered. And then the Patriots said they would support uniforms for every high school in Rhode Island if we get it sanctioned.
Well, again, that was going to be one of the things I suggest. The NFL has really been good about helping state associations promote and develop flag football in their state. That's got to be exciting for you.
Yeah, it's very exciting. The Patriots have been great. They've actually had me go up there. Got that coaches itch out of the way. Coach some girls flag football clinics for them. We've gone up there and just talk shop and just sat there with Mr. Kraft and talk about how we were going to make it happen.
Well, Justin, we're going to do this at the end of the podcast again, but if one of our listeners wanted to reach out, pick your brain a little bit more about, anything athletics, maybe about flag football, what's the best way that our listeners can connect with you?
You can just send me an email. I'll happily get back to you. It's Erickson@johnstonschools.org. I can put it in a chat for you so we can write it down, or I can spell it out, whatever is easy for you.
Right. We'll put it in the show notes later on, but and again, we'll ask you to give that. But thanks for sharing. Let's go and take another quick break. I know that's shocking to our regular listeners, but we're going to come back for more with Justin Erickson, Certified Master Athletic Administrator, on the Educational AD Podcast. We want to say thanks to our good friends at Home Campus for their support of the podcast. Home Campus is the official sports administration software program for a number of state associations, thousands of athletic directors, and even if your state uses a different platform, you can still be a home campus school. I'm telling you, their eligibility and clearance platform alone is a game changer. Go to homecampus.com to find out more. And as always, don't forget to mention the podcast. We also want to say thank you to Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. My assistant athletic director, along with thousands of others, got his master's through the Ohio program. And while they were earning their master's degree, they also completed 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Check out Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. We also want to say thanks to Hometown. Hometown continues to change the game for schools and organizations with their solutions that include things like, well, digital ticketing, big surprise. They're still the leading digital ticketing provider for schools and colleges. But how about athletic website construction, fee-free fundraising, and a whole lot more? Whether you're an athletic director, a coach, even a principal, Hometown is going to show you how to save time, how to raise more money, and how to bring your community together. That's hometown.com. Check them out today. You're going to be very glad that you did. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Educational AD Podcast. Once again, our guest is Justin Erickson. He's a certified master athletic administrator, and he's the director of athletics for the Johnston school system up in Rhode Island. Justin, you and I were talking during the break. You've got your CMAA, and that doesn't happen by accident. Share with our listeners a little bit of your journey. How did you first get involved with your state association? And you've already shared with me, you're very involved with that. And how'd you get involved with NIAAA?
So when I first got hired as the part-time athletic director, there wasn't really much with the association going on. When we rehired my mentor, Mike Trafficante, he goes, "You're coming with me to the league meetings, and you're gonna sit there and learn, and see what we do." And that's how we got involved in the first the RI AAA and the NI AAA. I remember we were getting ready to go to Denver, I think, for a conference, and I was going to Tampa for a football game. And they're like, "Oh, you coming to the conference?" I said, "Not this year, but count me in for next year, wherever you're going." And sure enough, we were in Orlando, and that was my first conference nationally wide. And pretty excited for that, be part of that. Fast forward now, I am actually the president-elect of the RI AAA. I serve on the Section 1 committee here for the NI AAA. And I'm also in the NI AAA cohort program this December in Tampa. So exciting things. I got my CAA during COVID. Because I was taking courses. We had like one-on-one courses, and we had some online classes we could take. I was able to get that with my time served for an educational waiver. And then once I got to Johnston, I kind of started doing my project on my own, because we had 15 different mascots. We have 15 different panther heads. We had a lazy eye panther. We had a predator panther, I called it. We had the giant panther with all jacked up. So we chose Columbia Blue Panther as our school color with one hat logo, and that was building the brand. And that's what we've been focused on here in Johnston, is building our brand. And that was my project to get my CMAA.
Wow. Great summary, and good for you for getting involved right from the get-go. It's so many athletic directors, I think, wait to join the association. So good for you. As you were taking the courses, both, leading up to your CAA and your CMAA, any particular course, stick out for you as, wow, this is really great stuff, I got to bring it back? Or, sometimes it's the opposite. Wow, we're not doing this at our school, we definitely need to bring this back. Anything stick out for you?
I think the best one was I want to say I took it in Orlando. It was building the handbook, the school handbooks and everything. For some reason, this was the last room in Orlando a couple of years ago. Like, we walked through the whole hotel, and we thought we were on the highway when we were getting back in this hotel room. It was a great program on getting your handbooks all to align between your district handbook, your athletic handbook, your coach's handbook, your player athletic handbook. And we got everything all in line now with that. Taking something back from nationals and the Massachusetts conference every year, and try and implement it in my school. And it has helped between either adding branding or doing something on social media with Gipper, or hey, introducing Snap Mobile to some teams, or even K-12 sports tech, like just doing something different and seeing what we can do with one of these companies that are out there at those conferences. So it
No,
doesn't help the unlimited stress balls I have on my desk either.
no, and again, I think that's another benefit to getting involved as you become aware of, you become exposed to all the different resources that are out there, for athletic directors. Good for you. Well, Justin, this has just been so cool getting to spend some time with you, getting to know a little bit more about your program, but we're not done yet. We always wrap up with the athletic director's toolbox. So we're going to take our final break, hear from Athletic Surveys, who sponsor this segment. When we come back, I'm going to challenge you to send out a brand new athletic director, something you were just a few years ago, on their first job, but I'm only going to let you put 3 tools in the toolbox. So let's take that break, and when we come back, we'll find out what Justin Erickson puts in his new athletic director toolbox. And we want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys for sponsoring the AD Toolbox segment. At my school, we use surveys for just about everything, for student athletes, for coaches, and for parents. And here's the cool part. The information that would come back, almost always over the top positive. I'm talking 98%. We still got to hear from our squeaky wheel parents, but the surveys allowed us to hear their concerns, usually address them before they turned into something big. But going back to that positive data, incredibly valuable, especially when you're visiting with one of those frustrated parents, or maybe your principal, sometimes even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. That's athleticsurveys.com. And don't forget to tell them you heard about it on the podcast.
So
Well, it's that time of the podcast. We've been visiting today with Justin Erickson, a certified master athletic administrator from Rhode Island. Tremendous background in athletics and leadership, but right now I'm going to challenge him to send out a brand new AD on their first job. So, Justin, what 3 tools are going to go into your new athletic director toolbox?
So my first tool will be a phone charger for your phone, because to be a good athletic director, you need to be seen, you need to be able reachable, and you need to be in constant contact with your coaches and your administration. Plus, you can have those wiser athletic directors who've been there before numbers if you need advice. That way, you can cover your wisdom too and run ideas by the old guard to make sure you're not going crazy or doing something out of line. The second thing, I would have a note that says just smile and wave. You're not going to make everyone happy. And a principal I worked under just said, you know what, just smile and wave, and the little things will work themselves out and the big things come together. And the last thing I would say, take time for yourself and have that space where you can unwind and be de-stressed. More mental health aspect for yourself to, oh, maybe I should have done this and that. Don't regret it, because you made the decision, and you need to take care of yourself too in the long run. That'd be the 3 tools I would probably say.
Well, guys, I love every single one of them. And you snuck in a 4th one there, the phone charger. Absolutely. I think ADs would be lost without that cell phone. Got to have it charged up. But the one that tailed on there, so you can reach out to those veteran ADs, building your network, so important. I love that one. Smile and wave. I got to decide, is that going to go into, enjoy the job and have fun, or is that going to become a unique tool suggestion? I don't think anybody has ever given us a smile and wave before, but
so even if it's just a note, I have it written on my board over here. It says smile and wave, and I look at it every day, every morning. Sometime I come in, and that's all. No matter how bad of a morning, you just look at it and just, all right, I'm just gonna smile and wave.
We're putting that in the unique tools. I love that. Smile and wave, classic. Okay. And the self time, absolutely. We can't help others. We can't help kids or coaches if we're not taking care of ourselves. Great stuff. Justin, one more time, if one of our listeners wants to reach out, connect with you, pick your brain a little bit, what's the best way they can get a hold of Justin Erickson?
So they can email me at jerickson@johnstonschools.org. And I can then we'll connect and I'll give you my phone number and we can talk on the phone, or we can just go through social media. My Instagram hashtag is justincredible79, and we can go through that too.
Well, Justin, thanks again for sharing. All the best moving forward with all your different initiatives, and definitely looking forward to connecting at the National Conference in Tampa.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you in Tampa, Jake.
For our listeners, hopefully we're going to see you in Tampa, and we just want to say thank you quickly for listening to the Educational AD podcast. Remember, we upload the Zoom recordings to the Educational AD YouTube channel. Thanks as always for listening. We're going to see you next time on the Educational AD podcast.